Good morning and welcome back to Withrow Urban Homestead. Today is April 25th and it's time to direct sow our cosmic purple carrots. This morning I spent several hours prepping this bed. If you want long, wide, straight carrots, you need loose soil, rock-free, 9 inches deep for this variety of carrot. Because this is an heirloom variety, I use my own saved seeds. I've been saving my seeds for many years. That's why you see there's some chaff left in the seeds. That's not important for me to clean that out. Each carrot will have a different size. Some are long carrots, some are short stubby carrots, but this is a 6 to 7 inch, about 1 inch in diameter carrot. It's not tiny, but it's not huge. So I want to space these carrots 3 inches apart and the rows about 6 inches apart. But I'm going to put the rows 4 inches apart because I grow in such a small space. This is a really small garden. I'm going to protect them with this netting from all the urban animals that dig. So I'm going to space my row of carrots 4 inches from the edge of the netting, the ends and the sides. I'm going to just sow them heavily today, but I'll go back later and thin. If you're going to do it spacing wise, sow your seeds 1 inches apart, but you're going to go back later and thin the carrots to 3 inches apart. Carrots do best direct sown. They don't do well if you start them in little cells. They'll get stunted. The roots will either fork or they just won't grow very long. It's best to direct sow your carrots 2 to 3 weeks before your last frost. Typically here, I can start sowing carrots mid-April. Carrots like to germinate at temperatures of 60 to 85 degrees. The colder it is, the longer it will take to germinate. The warmer it is, the faster it'll germinate. Typically, they germinate in 10 to 25 days. But last year, let me check my notes. It took 13 days in the spring to germinate and only 6 days in the summer. So the temperature will make a difference. Now, if you notice, I'm not standing on the bed to sow the carrot seeds because I don't want to compact the soil. Loose soil is the key to long carrots that don't fork. I mean, of course, we can still eat the forked ones, and a few of those are cute, but I don't want all of my carrots forked. I'm gonna sow half, and then I'm gonna go around and sow the other side. So if you want long, straight, wide carrots, prep your bed, 9 inches deep. Fork and make loose soil and take out all the rocks, any pieces of wood, and you can add sand in your soil if you want. If you don't have time for all that, you can grow a shorter variety of carrots. Space them properly. Different size carrots require different spacing. Smaller carrots you can space closer, bigger carrots farther apart. And grow them in full sun. How quickly they germinate is all about temperature, but germination rate, how many that come up, is all about moisture. Don't let carrot seeds dry out. If it takes 25 days to germinate, you've got to make sure they stay moist. I'll thin the cosmic purple carrots to 3 inches apart when they're 2 inches tall. I'll probably snip them with scissors, not pull them out by the roots, because I don't want them to disturb the roots of the ones that I'm leaving. And these are a 6 to 7 inch carrot. So if you want full-size carrots, make sure you thin your carrots. If you grow them close together, they're gonna stay small because the leaves in the long run won't get enough sun. So last year, when I sowed my carrots, I left the fall carrots that I wanted to go to seed, and there was a clump of strawberries near the carrots. It was back in that other bed. And at that time, the fall carrots were small and the strawberries were small, but those two grew really quickly and their leaves shaded out the carrot seedlings. Now the seeds germinated, but the seedlings themselves couldn't grow because the big leaves were too close. So if you don't thin, your carrots are going to be small because they're going to compete for sunlight. Carrot seeds are tiny, so I just lightly cover them with soil and press it in. That helps it maintain the moisture contact. Some seeds need light to germinate, like lettuce, and some seeds need darkness to germinate. Carrots, it doesn't matter, light or dark, but what's important is the moisture. And some people will cover their newly sown seeds with cardboard, wet cardboard. to make sure it stays moist and check on them, but I don't do that because I tend to forget. For me, what works better is just watering them every day. They're gonna share this bed with the onions, and I don't want the carrot leaves flopping over to the onions or shading them out. So I'm gonna space the carrots and the onions at least 12 inches apart, and most of them are spaced 18 inches. I'm between the two beds, the beets are on the other side, so it's really tight here. And tonight it's gonna rain, so it's a perfect time to sow the carrots. Even though it's raining tonight, I'm gonna go ahead and water them in. Then I'm gonna close the netting to protect from the digging animals. This soft soil is so tempting. And if you want beautiful green carrot tops, last year this netting, it just protected them and made wonderful green tops. Plus, it saved some of my seedlings from hail. And you see all the rocks I've collected from other places I've planted carrots? All along here. I've dug those all out of the carrot beds. That's what I dug out this morning. These are fall carrots that I left to overwinter, and now they're gonna grow a flower head and produce seeds. It's gonna take carrots 2 growing seasons to make seeds. They need the warmth in the fall. I mean, you sowed them in August. They go through the warmth of the fall, the cold of the winter, and then the warmth of the spring. That's 2 carrots. Have you noticed all the morning glories in that bed? They've just taken over. That's the reason I'm not planting carrots here again this year. It's rock free, but it's full of morning glories. I sheet mulch my garden with cardboard, and I did lay down cardboard in this bed in the fall, but it's already all broken down. You don't want cardboard where you plant your carrots, and I've moved off the mulch. I'm gonna save it for later. When they're a good size, I'll put the mulch back. But I don't cover my carrot seeds with mulch. I don't know if other people do, but I do want to protect them from slugs. This net has some damage from the fall hailstorm, but since I'm not protecting it from insects, it'll be fine. I'm just protecting it from squirrels, skunks, raccoons, and birds. And come back and check to see if the carrots germinate. We sow in April and harvest in July, and then we sow again in August and harvest in November. Twice a year, and carrots last for months in the fridge. Thank you for visiting Withrow Urban Homestead. See you later. Bye-bye.